going to say, some of the same things that Annie said, but I will try my best to offer as much insight as I can. I definitely have to continue to work on my schedule. I did reach out to Annie, like, I don't know, a month ago and asked her about my schedule because I am in a situation where, so if you don't know, I have an 8.5-month-old, and he's my only, and I am a kindergarten teacher. And I started coaching like 20 months ago. It was April 2015. And then I got pregnant that summer. And so I knew when I started that I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to make this a real thing as soon as possible because I've always wanted to stay home with my baby. And so last year I was teaching full time. And for those of you who are familiar with teaching, it's a very exhausting extra full-time job. And I was trying to maintain my health and fitness as well as I could throughout my pregnancy, and to show that and inspire that to other women who are in my niche, while continuing to work my Beachbody business as much as possible. So it was a busy year, but I did it because I knew I would reap the benefits someday. And so he was born the end of April, and then I took my maternity leave, and then I was off for the summer, and I'm actually on a 1-year leave of absence right now, to be home with the baby, of course, but to also build my business. I do not plan on going back. They don't know that yet. I need to tell them that. I felt like I couldn't, at that point last April, I wasn't in a position to just leave yet, even though deep down inside I knew I was never coming back. But I wasn't at a point in my business that I could justify that to like my husband or my parents or even to myself. Like it would have been really irresponsible. So I requested a leave of absence. And so luckily they do that. You can't guarantee your exact job back, but that's a risk I was willing to take because I knew I probably wasn't going back. So I busted my butt. I've been busting my butt since the day I started, and especially since my baby was born, since I've been home. It's been a transition being a new mom to a newborn and working my business at the same time. But again, I knew that if I put the time in then and continuing to put it in now, it would allow me to stay home with my baby. So I have not yet totally replaced my teaching income by any means, but I am on a pretty good track. I can see where my business is going, and I can see that I'm going to be able to replace my income. And so I can more confidently now, leave teaching, knowing that my business is going to continue to grow. But that doesn't come without hard work. I work a lot. So I can talk to you about my schedule a little bit. And basically the reason, so going full circle, the reason why I talked to Annie about my schedule is because I almost feel like, I do feel like I work my business too much, and I don't know how to separate. It's challenging for me to separate, being a mom and being home with him and not feeling like I need to be on my phone constantly or answering messages or doing things business-wise, because at the end of the day, I'm doing this so that I can be home with my baby. So I want to enjoy that time. But at the same time, I feel a lot of pressure to, make this work and make it work as fast as possible so that I can, help support my family, because I am making the decision to not go back to work. So that's where I struggle with my schedule. So I'm continuing to work on it. It's getting a little bit better, but I think it'll constantly be a struggle for me as I continue to progress. So Annie talked a little bit about pockets of time. I work my business now that I'm home. So I kind of have, the insight as to how to work your business working full time at a 9 to 5, because I did that when I was teaching and when I was pregnant. And I also now have, the ability to see how I can make it work by being home full time too. So now as a mom, I work my business in 4 pockets of time. They're larger pockets, but they're pockets. So I have my first pocket, which is before my baby wakes up. And for any of those of you who know about, or mom or know about babies, his schedule is constantly changing. And so it's very difficult to stick to the schedule. So I have to be very flexible. But for the most part, I try to get my workout in before he wakes up. And then like Annie, I post about it right away. I love Annie. I don't think I've ever heard you say that you do your PD during your workout. I think I need to give that a try because squeezing in my PD is very challenging for me. I like to multitask. I can't just sit there and listen to PD. I feel like I need to be doing something. So I think I'm going to try that. So I try to work out and do a post, get a post up right away. Because like Annie said, it's like, you're mentally in that fitness, positivity mentality. And I wanted to share that with others. And then I'll listen to PD, make my breakfast, eat breakfast, crossing my fingers that the baby doesn't wake up yet. And then I always message my challengers before I press play to kind of like get them excited, get them amped up. It starts our morning. They start chiming in about their day and, how they slept. And a lot of us are moms. And so we share some mom stories from the night before and then answer a couple messages from, challengers or potential challengers, things like that before he wakes up. So that, again, I have to be flexible. Sometimes I get my workout. Sometimes I only get half my workout in and then I do the other half while he's awake and he's helping me. If you've seen any of my posts or my videos, I talk about him a lot. So then I have a second session, his first nap, and then my third session is his second nap, and then my fourth session is like right now after he's gone to bed. So workout, post, PD, and like check in with a few people. Bam, done. So my second session, I sit down and I answer any messages that have come through since the morning session. And I message anybody who's accepted my friend request. I try to do that every day to stay on top of it because I don't want people to get my friend request and accept it and not know who I am for too long. All my friend requests come from my like page. So I feel like some of them probably recognize me a little bit, but I definitely talk to some people who are like, do I know you? And so I don't want them for too long, like wondering who's this creepy Brooke person who asked me to be their friend. So I like to do that every morning. And then that way I can just stay more organized too. If I start from my recently added and I start at the top and I send the message and keep going down until I get to somebody where I click the, send message and my message from yesterday or the day before, the archive message pops up. So I know that's where I stopped the previous day. If that makes sense. So if I do that every day, it only takes like 10 minutes. And I just like to do that so that I stay more organized and I don't get behind. Then I try to check groups because I try to check my groups a couple times throughout the day. I try to, whether it's my time to post or I'm just kind of chiming in to people who are chiming in. If I can add an additional post, things like that, just to kind of start the morning and letting people know I'm present. And then I try to do another post. Happy birthdays. If you're not familiar with the whole like algorithm between Facebook, if you message people for a happy birthday message rather than right on their wall, it actually bumps all of your content, your wall, your stuff that you're posting about, it bumps it up higher on their wall. So they're more likely to see your stuff. So when you're engaging in conversation with people, you're more likely to show up on their page and then they're more likely to show up on your page. So that's why it's best to send a happy birthday message rather than just right on their wall. Writing on their wall is better than nothing. But if it's somebody that you feel comfortable messaging, somebody who you would be upset if they joined a challenge group with somebody else, that means you need to connect with them. And so I use happy birthdays as a way to start our conversation with the people whose birthday it is every single day. So I'll always message and say, how are you? I hope you have some happy birthday. I hope you have some really fun plans to celebrate. And then, or I'll ask like, what are you doing to celebrate? Because then they're more inclined to respond. I also try to take a minute and go to their page, maybe like a couple of things, comment on a couple of things just to kind of start that, reignite that relationship, especially if it's one that I haven't talked to in a while. I send my friend requests. So again, my friend requests come from my like page. That's something I can go into more detail later if we have time for questions or things. But if you've been on any of the Team Boom calls, I talk about the like page. I like hit it with a dead horse or whatever that saying is. The like page training is a must do. You have to do it. That's where all of my friend requests come from. People are liking so I have targeted ads. People are liking those things. They're liking my page. And then I go through the likes, people who have recently liked my page, and I friend request them. So they already there's something about me that they're already intrigued about. They're already been following me. They're establishing some trust in me before I even reach out to them. It makes our conversation go a lot smoother. There's no awkwardness talking about fitness and nutrition, and it just goes a lot smoother. It's really easy. They're all in my niche. Most of us have kids. Everybody wants to talk about their kids. Have to do the like place training. And then I try, this is one I have to do more often, message people who have liked my recent stuff. So I'll go through yesterday or the day before and go through that one. This is one I usually use my phone and my computer at once, because with my computer, for say, I'll come up with the list of people who have liked that post. And then on my phone, I'll go to that person and like look at our recent conversation and, and message them, or go to their wall and like a couple of their things, to just kind of, hit them in two directions by messaging them and looking at their stuff. So that's like an hour and a half chunk of time. Again, I have to be flexible. I don't always get to everything. If I don't get to something, it gets bumped to, the next pocket. The third pocket would be follow-ups, as many as I can do in like 30 minutes. I really like setting a timer for like 30 minutes and doing as many as I can. I do try to follow the rule of not answering back. So if I'm doing a bunch of follow-ups and, I'm on my 10th follow-up, and my first follow-up, she responds back to my question, I try not to answer her right away. I try to, plug on through to all my follow-ups for like 30 minutes, if I have that many, and then go back and start responding to people's messages and engaging in their conversation. Because it's true, if you stop at 10 and you start answering number 2, 3, and 4, you're going to end up having a conversation with them, which is fine. But if your goal is to get through 30 minutes of follow-ups, it's going to slow you down, because you're going to be going back and forth with those people conversing. Then I'll go to my activity tracker, which it's still a work in progress. I'm using one that Ashley Feldinson uses, and I'm kind of tweaking it to make it my own, and it's still a work in progress. So I'll go to that and do my invites from there. And then if I have time, I'll do any like extra stuff, like listen to the National Wake Up Call, any things I have to do like around my house without the baby being awake, look at my free leads, message my free leads, my friend groups, things like that. And then at night, I'm always working my business, at least Sunday through Thursday night, from like 7:38 to like 10:30, 11-ish. Any calls we have, team calls, training calls, I check my groups again, kind of like close out the day, check in with people, answer their messages, things like that. Answer messages from my inbox, do some more follow-ups if I have time. I'd like to do another post at night. And then again, check in with my challengers too. So check in with the groups and then check in with my challengers. I have a message thread with all my challengers, every challenge group. So they're all like in one message thread. And so I kind of check in with them all there, just to kind of, say hi, kind of recap the day, congratulate people who, got their workout in despite the baby not taking a nap or whatever. Just to, again, be present and be like a team player with them, so they know that I'm there doing it with them. That's my day. I do that pretty much, definitely Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I work mostly on Friday. I let myself take a little bit of a break Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday usually I'm doing work as much as I can. I definitely work a lot, but I know I can already see that I'm reaping the benefits because I've been working so much. I'm able to stay home with the baby. And so I want to keep that up so that I can replace my teaching income so that, we're not at a financial deficit because I'm not going back to work. I want to still be where we were financially, even though I'm not back at work, if that makes sense.
So one of the reasons why you do that is because you have a really strong why.
My why is very strong. Yeah, I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to ever be without my baby. And that's just ever since I was like little. That's always something that I wanted to do. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, so I've always had that want. And we can't live off of my husband's income. So I don't have a choice. If I want to stay home, I need to I need to be doing something. Otherwise there's no way I can do it. And so now I'm at a point that I can pretty much justify not going back, because if I take what, as you can tell, I work through this a lot in my brain. If you take what I would make a month teaching and then subtract what daycare would cost, that's pretty much, I'm making up the difference. So like, it doesn't make any sense at this point now to send him, because I wouldn't be bringing anything home between what I make with Beachbody and cost of daycare.
Right. You got to justify it to the husband.
Well, and
I was the same way.
That's another thing on my list is like, my husband is so supportive. So that really helps too, if you can get your significant other on board.
Mm-hmm. That does. And I think one of the reasons why he is because you bring him to like live events, or you're always talking about it with him. So that's really important too. I think is to include them in it as much as possible. If you guys have spouses or significant others, I think sometimes they just don't understand why you're on this.
Andrea, he also went to school with you, high school, right?
Oh yeah, he's my.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I mean, he knows the real Mins. He knows
me. Yeah.
People,
He knows we're real.
He knows you're legit.
Yeah. Exactly. But also it helps that he went to like Summit and stuff like that too.
Oh,
right.
no.
Yep. Yeah.
I just kidding. I just jumped in. Now it's gone.
Mom.
Sorry.
Oh my God. I think it would be helpful too, because I know that you have this kind of written down.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So maybe post that in the group, because it's kind of when you see it in the chunks, it makes it.
So I'm a very visual person. I have it written down, and I put it in I don't know where it is. I put it in a like a report cover, like old school, like if you were in middle school, like turning in a report. And so it's in a plastic sleeve, and I use a dry erase marker, and I like check it off.
And I make Brooke send it to me every day. No, I was kidding. And then do you follow the 21 Day Fix guide? Like when you are talking, kind of like, the steps of what you want to do, like your to-do list?
So I think one thing that's a little bit different is that I follow the outline of the script, but I certainly don't like really follow it. And I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just what works for me. I definitely encourage my new coaches to follow it. I think it's really important when you're learning initially about what to do and how to approach people. But for me, I am huge into like the forming aspect of it, like creating relationships and that sort of thing. So I feel like genuinely that I just talk to people. I talk to them normally. I'm not really following. The thing that I really follow with the script is like the 5 questions to ask them when you're trying to make sure that the 21 Day Fix is, I'll tell them, oh, there's so many options. Do you mind if I ask you some questions to see which, route is the best one for you? And they're like, sure, no problem. And then I follow those 5 questions because I think those are good. That's pretty much it. And when so I do the challenge group sneak peeks. I think those have been a huge success for me. I run them with Ashley Coyne. So I would suggest like hooking up with somebody and running them together. We do them the last week of every month, so that by the time people are ordering, it's the beginning of the month. And so that's how I'm able to hit Success Club so early in the month. It's because we time it that way strategically. And so what happens is I don't feel like I evenly invite all month. I invite like crazy before that sneak peek. And like literally, I probably invite like 100 people over like 1 week. And then the rest of the month, I'm pretty much just forming relationships with all the people who have been added to, or the people who have liked my like page and that I've added to my friends list. And I'm forming relationships with them. I'm talking to them. And if I'm inviting them to something, I'm most likely inviting them to join my free, like ongoing free group. And so basically I'm just like, I'm creating a pool of people so that when it comes time for the sneak peek invites, I already have this whole list of people I've been talking to for the past 3 weeks. And so it's really easy for me to invite to them because I've been forming this relationship with them for weeks and it's free. And so it's really easy for them to accept my invite because they've learned to trust me a little bit over the past few weeks. And again, it's free. And then, so then I'm able to give them a little bit of insight as to what the groups entail, what the programs entail. And then that's how I've been getting so many Success Club points, I think.
And then you get them in the in the sneak peek of what a challenge group is.
Yeah, challenge group sneak peek. Yeah.
Right. It's just like 5 days of
Just 5 days. Ashley does a live workout. I do a live workout. Ashley does like live meal making. I do live Shakeology.
And you guys have it, so you two together put together like a script.
Yep.
And then you just follow that same script.
Yep, follow it every month.
I think the script's in the coach group.
I think it is. If not, I can definitely add it.
Yeah, because I think So it's just. So I think one of the things with Brooke is that she just every single month she just does the same thing.
Every single month.
And over and over.
The only thing that changes is the people that I'm talking to.
Exactly. So once you get into that routine of, when you're having your challenge group, you're inviting, you have that sneak peek at the last Monday of the month. Mm-hmm. And then you just sort of do that same thing, February, March, April.
Yeah.
And I am assuming that you also invite your coaches.
Yep. Ashley in my downline is always welcome to that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have is it okay if we do some questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Does anyone have any questions for Brooke?
I have one question. We're unmuted because our
you don't have a video.
Our video, we knocked it off. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, go ahead, Peter Reelman.
Yeah, it's Beth/Peter Reelman. My question is, Brooke, awesome. I love your consistency. So now you have all these challengers. You've gone through month after month. You're doing this. How do you get them to become coaches?
I honestly, I follow maybe it's part of the script. I don't know. I have them in my challenge group. And ever since Summit, it's been a goal of mine to, really make my challenge groups more engaging, more exciting, more fun. So I feel like my group is it's more exciting for them, and so they are really engaged. They're really motivated. Again, I said I have a group thread that's going with all of them, and so a lot of us are stay-at-home moms, and so we're just kind of really relating to each other. We're sharing ideas. We get to know each other so much that we're sharing pictures of our babies and stuff, and it just becomes this community that I think people don't ever want to leave. And so when it comes, I always write down their 3-week date. As soon as they order a challenge pack, I have a little Post-it note on my computer so I never miss it. And I just have that conversation with them when it's 3 weeks. I say, how's everything going? How are you feeling about it? What are you thinking in terms of next steps when this group is over? And so we end up talking about what they want to do, and that they love Shakeology. They don't want to leave Shakeology. And I said, well, if you sign up to get it monthly, there's a great discount. And then when I'm telling them about the discount, I always let them know that there's an option to work the business, so that so that they know that that's an option. And it kind of just happens naturally. Not everybody joins to be a coach, but I still allow people to stay in my groups, whether they continue with Shakeology or not. People lead to people. I've had a lot of people the past month or two that have led me to other people. So I have an open mind. And so I just kind of have that, again, it's just like a natural conversation. It's naturally, this group is ending. What's next? What do you want to do?
So do you run your challenge groups? So you end the challenge group at the end of a month, and do you start a new one, or do you just add, everyone stays in?
Ashley and I are all about starting a new one.
Okay.
It works, different things work for different people. I just feel like if I were to run an ongoing one, there's never that motivation to, I love that the beginning of the group, motivation and excitement to fresh start. Let's do this. We're in this together. Let's share recipes. And, I feel like it would just be very unexciting if it just kept going and going and going.
So you do one every month?
We do one every month. Yeah. So the last Monday of every single month is our sneak peek group. And then 10 days later, that Wednesday is day one of prep. We do a 5-week condensed prep. I have a script for that. And then the group starts that following Monday.
Thank you. Awesome.
Does anyone else have a question?
I have a question.
Sure.
Annie, I know you have mentioned you run 2 challenge groups a month. Brooke, I just wanted to know if you do one or if you do two. I'm kind of trying to figure out like even like this month, for example, with the health bet just starting, invites, I'm like already trying to get people in. I'm like, well, should I just invite them for a February challenge, or should I split it up and do like the 23rd of this month? I'm just trying to see like what works for both of you guys.
So I think I used to do like one or two a month, or like two a month. But now I'm pretty much just doing the one.
Okay.
So like, that's why I'm able to like, I invite like crazy because I want everybody to start together. I would be open to, and my coaches know this, I'd be open to starting a second one, like maybe like 2 weeks after the first one, if between all of us, we had enough people to really run an engaging group. But I try now, again, since Summit, I'm trying to, create this experience more for my challengers. I outsource some help for my challenge groups. And so I really like to put all my energy into one group now if I can. And so if somebody were to order like a week or two after, it'd be more likely for me to add them to that group that has already started. And I would just make sure I helped them extra to make sure they're, really ready because they weren't there for the prep week. So that would be on me. That'd be my responsibility. And then have them just join us for a week or two, and then they could start fresh with us for the next one, rather than starting over, because I'm able to really give them my all when I have one group to focus on.
Yeah. I personally I like my biggest group is started today, the 9th. And then I do run another one on the 23rd. But like Brooke said, like I do have help with people that help me with my challenge groups. I outsourced it a little bit. So, and one of the main reasons why I do the 23rd is I do it for my team, so that my new coaches, or, if there's a pool of people that might have people that are starting on that date that didn't get in on the 9th, they have something to go towards. And so that's why I do too.
Okay. What do you guys do with all your people that have done one round? Like they say they did 1 month and then they have to go into the new one. So are your posts all new for that new one each time? Or like say if somebody's repeating each month?
So Ashley and I we got rid of scripts. We don't use scripts anymore. So she and I and some of her downline coaches and some of my downline coaches, we have like a assigned day. So we do random posts now. Like we have our day, we try to get them up by like 9 a.m. But the only thing that is consistent is that it's a picture of ourselves. We try to do a quote. We definitely ask what their workout was, because we use that to create the consistency board. How many people are chiming in. And then it's up to us to kind of create something else, whether it's, asking about Shakeology, about water, how are you feeling, mindset, positivity, things like that. So it's never like a repeat, because there's no script.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do use scripts. But the main thing I probably just post is I'll have the daily thread, which I have, and then I'm just in the group. So I actually do have somebody help me with my challenge groups, and they post that. Dennis, obviously we know who he is. And I know Brooke uses them too. And he does my daily one that he posts in the morning. And then I go in there and today I made like Shakeology Reese's, cup. So I like posted that, or I try to go live a couple of times. Like I feel like the live thing is just so relatable to people, and it makes you like actually build a relationship with them. So I do try to go live at least like 2 or 3 times a week, and it's just like me cooking, or like me doing a workout, or me talking about something. And I feel like that's like the best way to get to know your challengers, because you can see people who are like liking them, they're asking questions, and I just kind of go live in the group to kind of mix it up.
Brooke, I have one question.
Sure.
Do you do the health bet or the challenge track?
Yep. Shout out to Joe Saya, who is who's leading our team in the health bet. Yep. So I have people who are in my like online Facebook challenge group and in the Health Bet.
So what do you do with that? Like when you're promoting, like they go to one or the other, or?
No, I have people who are in both. As long as they're drinking Shakeology, then they're in both.
Okay.
And I gave them the option. You know, they don't have to be in both, but I told them with the Health Bet, you can, you know, money.
So what about the other, like just the challenge tracker? Do you use that or only for the Health Bet?
I don't. I've only been using it for the Health Bet. I haven't made the leap yet. Okay. I do like it. I really do like it. I just haven't gone over yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
I have a question, Brooke.
Yeah.
So what would be like your number one advice for maybe like a new coach that's trying to get organized? Like they know they want to do this.
Yeah.
But they just have all these, you know, maybe they have excuses or they just don't know where to start. Like, how did you kind of take all this information and like put it in an organized form?
I think one thing that really helped me get organized is getting an accountability partner. Bless you. You know, because Ashley and we work really well together. And when we make I think she said this before too, when we make our monthly like marketing plan, neither one of us wants to let the other one down. So, you know, once we make the plan, we're stuck to it. And not that we don't want to be, but like, and you know, since we run our groups together and that sort of thing, I'm more likely to make sure I'm showing up and I'm doing what I told her I would do, because I don't want to let her and her coaches and her challengers down. So it's like adding that extra layer of accountability when you have an accountability partner, because, you know, you have someone else. Like, you know, if I let myself down, it's like, whatever. But I don't want to let them down, and I don't want to let my coaches down and that sort of thing. So I definitely get an accountability partner and dig really, really, really deep and find your why. That's really important because that will motivate you. It motivates me to work my business even when I don't want to. Last night, my husband was like, do you have a lot of work to do? We could watch The Affair. And I'm like, I can't. I have to do work. You know, like I could so easily be like, okay, I've already worked 5 hours today. I'm going to sit down and watch it. But I can't. I can like mentally let myself do that on the weekends. But if it's the work week, I'm working. Because you got to, if you have a really strong why. And I don't know. I think that's it, I guess.
I have a question.
Sure.
So for your sneak peeks, do you let anybody who hasn't actually bought a challenge pack in? And then how do you get them to go from sneak peek to your longer challenge?
Yeah. So like anybody and everybody can be in our sneak peek. Like I said, I'm kind of creating this like list of people that I'm getting to know the other 3 weeks, so that the week before I'm inviting like crazy. So then they're in the group. I try to tag them in almost all the posts. I check in with them. I think so it technically starts like Sunday night. I check in with them personally one-on-one Tuesday night. So it's like, I feel like it's kind of like halfway through, and if it's checking in, but it's also like making sure they remember. Like half of them will be like, oh my God, I have totally forgot, or I haven't seen it yet. So it's like, okay, well, start looking. And so then by like Friday morning, I'm messaging them all. I just come up with something on the fly, like, oh, I hope you enjoyed, thanks so much for being part of the group. I hope you really enjoyed it. Were you able to catch most of the posts? If you, something like, if you are ready to, I would love for you to join our resolution solution group that starts next week. If you're ready, I can help you with your order. How would you like to proceed, type of something like that. And I say the word order because you wouldn't believe how many people think like this is a free group. Like they don't quite understand that it's like a free sneak peek to like a group where they need to purchase something. And if they come back and then say they can't right now, then I always invite them to the free group that I was talking about, my ongoing free group, and then I'll track their name and reach out to them when they say that would be a better time.
Thank you. That was really helpful.
Sure.
We have time for one more question.
One last, what was the date that you always have your start date of your challenge?
So my sneak peek is the last Monday of every month.
Uh-huh.
So then it ends towards the end of the month. So by the time people are purchasing, it's the beginning of the next month. And so sneak peek goes Sunday to Thursday, technically. And then the following Wednesday is prep day 1. And then the following Monday is
you prep on Wednesday.
Yeah, Ashley and I wanted to do a condensed 5-day.
Yeah.
So we took the sneak peek, the prep week script, and we kind of just condensed it. It was a little bit different this past month and the month before because of the holidays. It was a little different, but that's what it is for the most part.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, of course.
If they tell you that they don't want to be part of the challenge group when you have to order something, do you take them out of that Facebook group then, or do you let them stay in and watch the group?
So once it's over, it's over. There's nothing else to...
The sneak peek, so once it's over, that's done, and then your other group is like a separate...
Oh, yeah, the new group. Yeah, yep, it's a totally new group. So we have a group for the sneak peek that every month it's my job to go in, take everybody out, update the description, delete all the posts. Ashley does the cover page. So it's a brand new thing. So you can stay and catch up on some of the posts if you miss some of the live videos and stuff, but after a week or so, I'm deleting you. And if you do purchase a challenge pack, then we're adding you to a whole separate group that is our challenge group.
Okay.
So there's nothing, I understand what you're saying. There's nothing for them to see.
And then after that group is done, the 21-day one, you start it all over and you take people out and then re-add them?
Yep, we start all over. Because it's just it just creates a sense of a fresh start and starting over, and, we're all coming together again. We're adding our people all together again, and we're starting over as a whole group. I like the starting over. It's good for success.
But some of the challengers want to do it over and over again.
Yep, and I let them do that. Especially with the all access pass, I've had challenges who have never even bought from me before, but I meet a lot of people on my page who say they have a coach, but they've never really talked to them, or they haven't talked to them in a while. So they come over to me having not bought anything, and now, especially with the all access, they have recently purchased challenge packs, or when they're in the group and everybody's talking about Shakeology and stuff, eventually they're going to break and they're going to want to try it. So I'm open to them being in my group, even if they haven't purchased anything.
So are all your monthly challenge groups, they don't have to drink Shakeology?
Nope, I don't require it.
So what do they have to, they just want to be in the group?
They have to be doing a Beachbody program.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very least. But between them being in my group, and like I said, they want to keep in that community, and eventually they're going to break. They're going to buy another program, or they're going to get Shakeology, or they're going to lead me to somebody else.
So then you restart every month.
Every month.
Lead everybody, and if they want to come in, then they come in.
Okay. For that one, we because it's so long. For that one, we just start a new group.
Right. It kind of makes that person want to be a part of it, especially when they see other people joining.
Yeah. I mean, they can't
being a part of the challenge group. Then they're like, well, I want to do it,
Right. In my thread today, someone brand new started her first day of Shakeology. She had never tried it before, and everybody's asking her what her flavors she likes, and then they're sharing their recipes, and then they're like, oh my God, you can get a sampler pack. So now half of them want to buy a sampler pack, and they didn't know they could do that, So I've realized that it's totally worth it. In my opinion.
Awesome. That was amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, bottom line is that Brooke has a very strong vision for where she wants to go, because she has such a strong why. So I think, like you said, it always goes back to that. It always goes back to why are you doing this? And then you can set up your schedule, and obviously you guys are very organized. I think that really helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps. And then once you start doing it, it's the same thing every month. It's just the initial setting it up.
Exactly. So it might be kind of a little bit harder the first month and the second month, but then it becomes more natural the fourth, the fifth. You guys have probably been doing this routine for almost a year now, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when you really start to build up that momentum.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you can just share some of those things that you talked about in the group.
Sure, definitely.
Great.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Brooke.
Hey,
Thank you guys for getting on.
Thank you, Brooke.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Bye.